North-South Connection, welcome in to the most extreme and not wild violence you'll ever experience here on the Extreme Three-Way Dance. JT, Jenny, and Matt Souza here to talk the legend of ECW with all of you. How are you guys all doing?
Legendary.
Wow. Legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Legendarily extreme, you might say.
There you go.
Yeah.
Legendary is a man called Chaz.
Who's that?
I'm guessing it's
Chaz Legendary.
someone that's one letter off.
Chaz Legendary, I think was his name.
Anyway, it's a big night for us, so we're not going to let Chaz throw us off our game. We are here talking WrestlePalooza 1998. We spent a lot of time on the build to this over the last couple episodes. Was it our fifth pay-per-view? How many pay-per-views do we have? Fifth? We had the first one.
8.
Five, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
We had Barely Legal. I'm missing one in the middle. Hardcore Heaven.
Right. From Fort Lauderdale, your favorite place.
And then what was the November to Remember?
Yeah.
Living Dangerously.
Mm-hmm.
WrestlePalooza.
Right.
Well done.
Here we are.
You should have a podcast.
Oh, my gosh. Talking ECW.
What an idea.
Fuck, extreme. Speaking of extreme, we're extremely on YouTube here on this channel. You can check us out, subscribe, leave a comment, or if you're the audio file type, you can listen on any podcast application by searching North-South Connection as well. And everything we have is at northsouthconnection.com. Yeah. Anyway.
Well done.
May 3rd, 1998 is WrestlePalooza from the Cobb County Civic Center in Marietta, Georgia. Speaking of Chaz's and big boss men.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever taken a trip to Cobb County, Georgia?
I didn't, but I heard if you do, you got to respect the law and order.
Right.
You do.
Right.
Could be serving some.
Otherwise, you'll have some hard times. Yeah.
I've been to the Marietta Diner. It's very good. They have ginormous cakes.
That sounds all right.
Yeah, I would recommend it.
Okay, well, let's go for WrestlePalooza.
All right.
Joey Styles in the ring. He welcomes us into the Cobb County Civic Center where the crowd is revved up. They are ready to rock. We get our opening animation into our first match of the night. And if it's the first match of the night, you know it's featuring at least one team.
Mm-hmm.
Did not bring my Italian flag headband. I should have.
Yeah, you should have. What are you thinking?
Regrets. Big time regrets. All right. Brings us to our Italian lesson of the week right out of the gate here tonight. Avare la faccia come il culo.
Jesus Christ, you're going to have to say that again.
Look, you had an easy one last episode. So
no, I reject that word.
Avare la faccia come il culo.
No, man. What does it mean?
Literally means to have one's face like an ass. To be an ass face.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work for ass face.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if
you're Italian, you don't know any better. You just have to say that.
Yeah. Well,
they don't know ass face. They just have to say whatever
they say. It means have a face like an ass. And we know culo means ass. We've covered that.
We do mean that.
Yeah, we covered that one. That is a word in the past.
All right.
You definitely remember all these.
We're going to have a quiz someday.
Absolutely.
On all of them.
Boy.
See how you do.
Spell that.
I can read them all and make you tell me what they stand for.
Yeah.
A bunch of culos.
Save it for like the end of our run so I can study, go back and listen.
We're never ending.
Oh, right.
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 Chaz
we're going to relaunch ECW. Keep doing the pod.
We're going to have Michael Cook and Grooney on to take us through.
I'm glad y'all are silly. I'm glad y'all are silly for this show because I was not going to want to take this shit serious.
That's why you're silly, Jenny, because you're silly.
Yeah, true.
All right. Chaz tells us the Marietta Diner is 2 miles from Cobb County Civic Center and not 4,500 miles like it is Seattle to Miami.
Anchorage,
wherever we're talking about. Yes, the FBI is taking on the BWO, the Blue Meanie, and Nova. FBI dance out to get us going. The usual crew, Tommy Rich, Smothers, and Guido. Meanie and Nova rumble out, keeping this feud rolling. Joey says, Meanie and Nova have been waiting in the locker room for 2 years, hoping for a chance to prove what they can do. That seems like a lot. I mean,
they have.
Only a year ago, they were like the top. I know it was mainly Stevie, but they were like the top faction in ECW. So I think 1 year would have been sufficient to say they've been waiting because it's been about a year now since Stevie was hurt and left. So I'll say 1 year. Rich shit talks the crowd. We get things going. Guido and Nova start off. The crowd's all over the FBI. Guido controls on the mat. Nova pops up and drop kicks him for 2. Nova gets an atomic drop at a spin wheel kick. Smothers comes in. Nova's all over him. Wipes out both guys. Meanie tags into a pop. Guido goes to tag, but Smothers wants no part of it. Rich demands Meanie give Smothers a rematch of their dance off. So Smothers gets in the ring. The music fires up. He does his routine. Meanie then goes to his dancing to a big pop. Meanie tells John Finnegan, the referee, to dance. He obliges, but Smothers attacks Meanie as that's happening. Guido comes in. The FBI stooge around. Meanie sticks and moves. Smothers staggers around. We end up getting Finnegan slamming both FBI members and covers Guido for more shenanigans. Nova comes flying in with a missile dropkick. He knocks Smothers to the floor, throws Guido into him. He heads up top, and it's a really cool-looking corkscrew dive to the floor. That gets a big pop. Rich attacks Nova, crotches him on the railing. Smothers throws him back inside where the FBI double team. They control Nova, picking up some near falls along the way. Nova fires back up. Smothers cuts him off with a sidekick. Guido comes in and takes too long to climb the ropes. Nova's able to take him off with a seated inverted powerbomb. Smothers and Meanie both get tags. Meanie cleans house, goes up top, swats down the Don, but he misses the moonsault. Don throws Guido the flag. He uses it on Meanie, but Nova hits the Novocaine, and the BWO get the win. Pretty fine opener to get the crowd engaged, the crowd up and running. It's the usual stuff from ECW. I think, too, maybe they were using this to get the technical aspect of it, maybe it's on point and set up. I think it was, kind of fill some time and make sure that everything's good for the rest of the night. More comedy than usual, but it fits. A lot of stooging and nonsense. We get some big Nova spots, and it seems like he's got some potential maybe to do something else beyond this. So Matt went 2.5 on our opener. Standard ECW pay-per-view opener. That doesn't mean a ton, but kind of gets some guys some time.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. 2.5 on this. Just a fun opener, and it's two teams that the crowd likes, so it makes sense, that the crowd would enjoy this. A lot of comedy spots, like you said, but I think all the comedy worked really well. With the referee doing the slamming these the guys, and the dance off, I thought was all pretty fun stuff. The heat segment on Nova, I thought was really well done too, and a big win for Meanie and Nova. Perhaps a renewed push coming. Maybe this is the start of something for them. Maybe they're going to, I don't know if they're ever going to challenge for the tag titles or something, but they should be on a pay-per-view. The crowd likes them. So yeah, 2.5 for me, Jenny.
It's a clean sweep, 2.5. I like this. I thought it was really fun. I like the dance off and making the ref do it too.
I'm sure they were doing this all around the
Oh yeah.
100%. I mean, this is probably on every house show at this point.
Yep. It really just looks joyful, and you don't get that a lot in ECW, in this way. And Nova, he was wrestling, y'all. He was doing all kinds of shit. I feel like he's been using his time in the locker room 1 or 2 years to kind of soak in a lot of stuff. Seems like he's learned a lot. So I actually really enjoyed watching Nova. And I want to talk about the Civic Center real quick. What do y'all think about the look of this and the sound of it? Because I thought Joey sounded weird to the point where I was like, that's Joey, right? Before he started saying Joey things.
A little bit. But I actually think it's one of the better looking pay-per-view locations we've had.
Yeah.
I think the crowd is mic'd better than most other ones we've had too. So I feel like we're making progress there.
It's a big crowd too, because I was like, look, this is a little town in Georgia, and I know it's close to Atlanta, but still. And then I go thinking about ECW fans just infiltrating this small town in Georgia and what that was like for them. But I thought it was super cool that so many people showed up, and it looked like their biggest crowd that we've seen.
I think it was 3,900.
Yeah.
3,400, 2,900 paid. So yeah, pretty strong crowd.
It felt like
a building arena holds, but I don't think it's that much.
It felt like a building that was meant to hold a wrestling show. What a novel concept!
That's what I thought too, and very light filled. Everything was very well lit, so that's different. But I actually ended up really liking it.
Yeah, I mean ECW arena holds 1,300, so it's double their usual spot.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Did you think Jay Sully was back when you heard the voice?
I didn't know, man. I was like, Joey sounds weird.
Or who's the other guy we had? Scoop something or whatever his name was. Remember, early on when Joey had the contract dispute, we never saw him. It was Scoop something or whatever. He was can't think of his name now. We had him for 2 months. You never saw him. We only heard him calling the action.
Yeah, that was weird.
All right, we got a hype video for our next match, which is Mikey Whipwreck taking on Just Incredible. This heated feud comes to a head here. Mikey looking to finally put Credible away after all the assaults. Credible, Jason, and Chastity are out. Joey says the big boss man works close to here, and he could deal with Jason. Mikey comes out to a pop. He charges right at Credible as we get right into things. Mikey hits a spear, unloads a flurry, and sends Credible to the floor. Mikey follows out and slugs away, shooting Credible to the railing, and they go hard into the crowd in an ugly bump. Mikey pummels Credible in the crowd, spikes him into the railing with a Russian leg sweep. We head back outside to ringside, where Mikey sets up Credible on the apron. Credible blocks and sends Mikey flying into the railing. Credible shoots Mikey in the ring, as Joey says many may believe Steve Austin got the stunner idea for Mikey when he was in ECW. Maybe. Back in the ring, Credible grabs a chair from Jason. He spikes Mikey into it. Credible powerbombs Mikey on the chair for 2. Slowly works over Mikey as the crowd is all over him with Aldo Montoya chants. Credible ducks his head on a whip, and Mikey gets a low blow. He tries a whippersnapper, but Credible counters through inverted DDT. Credible knocks Mikey outside. Jason attacks with a backbreaker, puts Mikey on a table. Mikey fights off Jason, throws a chair at Credible that bounces into some young fans, and then scales the railing and deadlift suplexes Credible off the railing through the table in a very impressive spot. Back inside, both have chairs. Mikey wins the battle, smashes his chair to Credible's face. Mikey gets a neck breaker for 2. He sets up the chair on the top rope, slingshots Credible into it for 2. Mikey loads Credible up top. He has to Franken Mikey for 2. Gets a whippersnapper, but Jason comes in. Mikey gets Jason with the whippersnapper. In comes Chastity. Mikey puts her on the top rope, and it's a super whippersnapper. Credible grabs a chair, but Mikey blocks. However, Credible overpowers and finishes him with a That's Incredible on the chair to win the match and ostensibly likely the feud. Super fun overall. These guys have some great chemistry. The story helped a lot too, as did the crowd. It was an effortless smoothness to their work. The suplex through the table was sick, and the finishing sequence was hot. Credible winning was the right call. A really good battle to close out the feud. Time for Credible to maybe move up a level. Nice to see Mikey in this feud overall, even though he's been injured like 3 times during it. So it took a little longer, but Jenny went 3 1/4. I like this.
I mean, I did 3.5 because I like the match. I just don't. I'm fucking tired. I'm fucking tired of Mikey losing.
It's his role.
We only see him losing to only Just Incredible. He's not wrestling anybody else or doing anything else. And I really hate Credible. Usually I'm a heel girl. I don't know. But the superplex off the guardrail into the table was awesome. And Chastity took that fucking whippersnapper.
I think it's Chastity.
Chastity.
Chad.
But yeah, the finish just fucking pissed me off. I don't know.
I think you're getting the same read that a lot of folks were having at this time on Credible. You know, little heavy-handed with the push and.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm ready to move on from this. Like, I'm good. No more matches with them. I mean, they're good together, but I just can't watch it again. Maddie.
Yeah, I mean, I went 3.5 on it. It feels like I enjoyed the match, but it definitely feels like we're ready for both guys to move on now. You know, both Mikey and Credible. Like, Credible needs to take a next step. Who that is, I don't know. But
the feud feels longer too because it's been going for a while, but because of the Mikey injury,
right,
it was like dragged out even more. Maybe it should have ended at Living Dangerously, you know?
Right.
Maybe he should have stopped wrestling when he got injured, and then maybe he could have.
Well, there is that too. There is that, but yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this match. It felt like a fight, which is what it should have been. Just a super fun sprint. Mikey sprinting to the ring, just starting things off super hot. Great intensity throughout. It's a quick match too. Like, it's 10 minutes, so they get in, they do their thing, they get out. Just it's a super fun match. Chastity, that super whippersnapper was nasty looking. So just a really good heated brawl. I like this a lot. I was surprised, honestly, at how much I enjoyed this. So yeah, 3.5 for me.
I wonder if they tried to get Big Boss Man. Because I don't know what he was doing yet. I mean, he wasn't back in WWF. That's not till October. I know I don't know when he leaves WCW. I know he's there like, I feel like he's there at the very beginning of '98, but
yeah, it might be one of those weird things where he's still there, but he's not. They're not using him.
Yeah, because you got to think they gave it a shot at least to show up in Cobb County.
Where would you put him in the show?
He could have been like a guest ref, or maybe he just like comes out to help Mikey here. Like he said,
That's
maybe
what
runs
I
off
was
Jason or
thinking.
something.
Something
Could have done something
right
like
here
that.
would have been a good
Put
spot.
him with rotten balls. We could have big rotten balls.
Oh, nice.
Well, speaking of rotten balls, they interrupt Joey Styles, and
Yeah,
Axel
they
says the
do.
tag champs have been dodging them, and that Candido is pussy whipped, and Lance Storm doesn't have what it takes. Axel wants to fight right now. He says they beat Candido clean in the arena, and they want to take the titles tonight and demand they fire up the music. I don't know. Let's get to this opening segment. So this brings us to our tag title match. It is Rotten Balls taking on Chris Candido and Lance Storm. The champs come out. Candido looks confused, but that's because we get the entrance music gag. So Candido comes out a second time alone. Candido calls for Rotten Balls. They're in the nest. And they're like backtracking a bit. And they keep talking. And Joey says, you got what you wanted. Get down there. And then they finally go. So like, I don't know what that was about. Like they almost made it like they were chicken shits, and like Joey's like, "Well, you ran your mouth. Now you're gonna go fight them." But they wanted the match, and they've been built toward this match. Like I don't know. It was just I thought it was just weird the way they went about it.
I
Like
agree.
it felt off. Like I didn't get what they were going for.
I loved Axel's little pre-match promo, but then as it was happening, I thought it was good, but then I was like, this is very odd. Like we don't usually do this sort of thing. And then there was fuckery with them. I'm like, I don't know. It felt like somebody wasn't on the right page.
It should have been switched.
Yeah.
Like it should have been Lance and Candido.
I thought we were getting a double
Joey.
turn. I mean, if it wasn't for the triple threat, it would have been maybe feeling that way. Like I thought they were going to start to twist like Axel and Balls maybe heel, like chicken shitty a little bit, and like Storm and Candido being like the hard fighting champions. But yeah, it was just weird the way they did it. It's almost like maybe they missed a cue and they started to vamp a little bit or something.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I don't know. It was odd. All right, the champs come out. Like we said, Joey says they have to reshuffle the card. No reason. Why do they ever have format? So then they play like this wasn't supposed to happen now, but that's why it was even weirder. Like, all right, you got your match. Get down there. Like then they're acting like they weren't ready, even though they wanted it now. I don't know. The Ron Balls gets to the ring. Candido gets the mic, says he's a fighting champion. Lance is here too. He wants to do the title match properly with ring introductions. Balls takes a swat with the chair. We get the official announcements. We get going with Candido and Axel trading off arm control. They both tag out. Balls works over Storm until Storm dodges the charge and hits a drop kick. Lance gets caught low in a leapfrog. Balls tags Axel. They had a modified Doomsday device for 2. Storm comes back with a spin heel kick. Candido tags himself in as they bicker. Axel grabs control of the arm of Candido, tags Balls and goes to a chin lock. Balls comes back with a shoulder block, overpowers Candido to a flurry of strikes. Balls has Candido off balance, but misses a spin kick and flows to the floor. Candido meets him with a pescado, but Balls catches him and hotshots him on the railing, and then they sling Storm into him as well. Balls holds the champs, and Axel plows into them with a somersault senton. Back inside, Axel hits a hard clothesline, but Candido kicks Axel in the back. Storm gets a leg lariat. Candido comes in and tags himself and slings Storm to the floor. Candido hammers away. Storm wants to fight, but the ref keeps him apart. Candido batters Axel and gets a great delayed vertical. Storm tags in, but Axel comes firing back. Storm catches him with a super kick for 2. Candido tags in. We get a double team back elbow for 2 as the champs continue to keep Axel in the soup. Axel pops up with a sunset flip. Clothesline goes to the corner, but Candido stops against the top rope Rana. Axel keeps fighting, gets an air fall on Candido, catches Candido coming off the top, ends up falling into a headbutt into Candido's nuts. Storm blocks the tag, but Axel has the double DDT, tags Balls, cleans house on the champs. Balls gets 2 on a scoop power slam as Candido makes a save. Balls catches Candido on a float over, but out comes Sunny. She slaps Balls. Balls loads her for the Nutcracker Sweep. Storm makes a save and checks on Sunny, which pisses off Candido. The champs shoot Axel and Balls into each other. They hit low blows. Axel gets knocked to the floor. Storm hits him with a plancha. Balls hits the Nutcracker Sweep on Candido, grabs a chair, but Storm comes in with an awesome springboard drop kick into the chair. He covers, but Candido hits Storm with the chair and then covers and pins Balls to win the match. And Candido and Storm fight all the way to the back. That's pretty fun. It was in line with how energetic the angle's been. Ron Balls come up short yet again, despite all the dysfunction and the lock that Joey gave us 2 weeks ago. So this is it. Storm looked awesome the whole match, especially the end. Like he looked really good. This is a good use of Sunny, as the triple threat always has some tricks up their sleeves. Candido and Storm are so good they can win despite all the issues. I like this. Not an angle ready to end yet for me. Like I want to see where it can go even further with these guys, where they come back together maybe. So I went 3 stars. I do think we need a new team to challenge that. Like I think Rotten Balls are kind of played out at this point a little bit as the top team. Like I just don't think they're believable to win at this level where they're at. So that's what I got to say, Jenny. 3 stars for me.
Why are they not believable?
I just don't think they're at the level
I
that you
thought-
would believe them
I
to be
don't
Candido
know.
and Storm.
Axel's been, God damn it, Axel's been really good, and Balls is working hard. I don't know. I thought it was.
I just don't see them beating these 2 guys. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue they should have won here.
I'm not ready for it to end, though. I think Candido and Storm have to have something bigger.
Like what?
I don't know. Not this.
Yeah, well, they're bringing in Sunny again for the same old tired shit. So I mean,
She's the ace in the hole.
I guess.
Hey, now.
It's gotten to the point where my favorite part of the Candido match is the delayed vertical suplex. So always mark out for that. But there were a lot of good double team moves in this. But fuck the finish. I just didn't like it. 3 stars.
I just like Candido and Storm a lot. I just think they're really good as a team, you know.
I mean, I think they're both very good wrestlers. I'm just kind of over them tussling with each other.
They're over you.
Over nothing, so that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I went 3 stars on it. I enjoyed the match overall. Started more of a wrestling match than I was expecting. I thought that was really well done. Rotten Balls held their own. It showed that Balls and Axel can kind of hold their own in a different match than they're used to. Like, I thought they were able to keep up with Storm and Candido. It was much more of like a Storm Candido match than it was a Rotten Balls match, if that makes sense. And I think they were more than able to hold their own in this type of match. I'm kind of with Jenny. I'm kind of over the Lance Storm Candido stuff as a team. Like, they're great singles wrestlers, obviously, but as a team, the infighting, I always hate the tag team champions thing where they're tag champions that fight with each other. I enjoyed this at the start, but now it's kind of getting to the point. It's kind of like, all right, if we're going to keep doing it, we got to find a new wrinkle to it if we're going to keep doing it. So, I mean, I went 3 stars on this match. I enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, if they could just find a new thing, just find a new way to be pissed at each other, like, then I would be a little bit more on board.
Or the opposite.
What do you mean?
Maybe the love brings them back together.
All right.
Wow.
It's like Captain
And a threesome with Sunny? Is that what you mean?
I mean,
look, it seems like everybody can work out their issues.
I'm saying they could be hot together. It's a Pointer Sisters, may I say.
They do say that, yeah.
Joey's in the ring. He wants to bring out some legends for a special ceremony. He brings out Junkyard Dog, Dick Slater, Masked Superstar, and Bullet Bob Armstrong. They all get huge pops. Nothing comes of it.
Not a thing.
Nope.
It was a nice moment. It was a little long.
Nice.
It was a little long.
Yeah, it was long.
I was waiting for an attack. Shane maybe to come run him down.
Yeah.
Hit Bullet Bob right in his forehead.
God, please.
Yeah.
Somebody take him out.
What you got against Bullet Bob?
I can't escape him. He's terrible in TNA, and I have to deal with him. I know I have to deal with him on ECW. I'm not happy about it.
Well, I think this is it, probably.
I hope so.
Anyway. Yeah, so I thought there was something coming here. I was surprised. That was it.
Yeah.
Joey's in the ring. He's going to bring out a courageous athlete competing with several injuries tonight: an elbow that needs an operation, a fractured cheekbone, a broken bone in the roof of his mouth, and that is the ECW World Champion Shane Douglas. Douglas comes out with a big brace on his arm. Shane says he started wrestling when wrestling was a sport and not entertainment. He saw the old generation wrestle with injuries, and today's punks are on guaranteed contracts. They stub a toe and take 6 months off to still get paid, and that's a bunch of shit. He's in the WWF, and there was a time when he was supposed to stretch Shawn Michaels, but he had a bump on his head, and that pussy forfeited the belt instead. He knew the IC title meant shit after that. Down the road at CNN Center, they have a guy named Dick Flair that sucks Bischoff's ass, and he's called out Flair's ass for 4 years, and he doesn't care if the fans boo. He doesn't like him. Shane runs down his injuries. He says they'll give the match of a lifetime tonight because it could be the last of his career. We'll all witness that someday. The fans will tell their kids and grandkids about watching the greatest champion of all time, no matter what happens. Taz's music fires up. He comes out to a buzz. Taz says Shane wants to be a hero, wrestling hurt. Maybe instead of whining and crying, Shane should admit who busted up his arm and his face and who is the uncrowned world champion. Shane tells a fan to sit down and shut up. Taz says Taz doesn't deserve the title. Taz says in Florida, he snapped Shane's scrawny arm. There'll be no main event tonight with Al Snow. Just like that kid in the WWF handed the title to Shane, he's not going anywhere until Shane hands him the ECW title. Taz tells Shane to stick his middle finger up his ass. He's here to ruin another pay-per-view. And Shane Douglas. Shane tells Taz to get the fuck out of the way. He wants to go focus on Snow, but Taz doesn't move. Taz knocks Shane down. It's a nasty submission. Shane taps right away. Security gets in the ring, and they drag Taz off to booze. Bigelow shows up in the aisle. Him and Taz throw down on our ringside. Joey's back in the booth. He apologizes for the confusion. Francine, Candido, and Bigelow are helping up Shane. He's spitting up blood. Security gets the handcuffed Taz back into the seat of a car. Taz kicks out the window as they drive away. Joey reminds us that Taz didn't get the title shot tonight because Bigelow beat him, and now he's miserable and wants to ruin everything for everybody else. Shane eventually has walked to the back, but he's in bad shape. And overall, I thought this was a hot segment. They did a good job shifting the focus to Taz. But again, like we talked about, that feels marginalizing of Snow before the match even begins. We talked about Rotten Balls, right? Hyped as a lock to beat Candido and Storm. All the odds are in their favor. We're really setting up Snow to either win or look like a big-time choker because Douglas is out there with 19 injuries, and now Taz beat the shit out of him again. Snow couldn't have an easier opponent on paper, right? It's like, yeah, it's Shane Douglas, but he's broken arm, broken jaw, broken mouth, roof of his mouth. Taz has busted him up again, an hour before the match. Like, if you can't win now, when are you going to win, buddy? So I don't know if they're doing Snow any favors here, unless they're planning to give him the belt. I also thought it was weird that it made it seem like Shane was a bit of a face with Joey running down, like naming all the injuries. And I know in ECW, they're all about like, putting over the product and how tough everyone is and all this other stuff. So it's fine. It's like even heels get that treatment in ECW. So it's okay. But again, it felt just a little blurred lines.
Yeah, especially when you add Taz in there. Definitely blurs the lines even more.
Yeah. So what did you think, Jenny, of the whole thing?
Dick Flair sucks Bischoff's ass was pretty fucking hilarious, but Shane's arm looks so fucked up, and you're just like, how is he even gonna wrestle?
Yeah, he's a mess.
Yeah. Taz and his jeans and his belt,
Yes.
and his little tank top was tucked in. It was, I don't
the baggy jeans too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
boots is like yeah. So I don't know. It looks like Taker Taz or something. I don't know. It's just like I said, like to me, I need more of the Shane and Snow stuff because, like we've talked about, they've done some Shane going crazy stuff, but you haven't got shit from Snow really, and there's not much of a story there. So maybe that's why they're doing this because they have not built up Shane and Snow hardly at all. Story.
Not since the pay-per-view, like where Snow beat him in that tag.
Yeah.
And now it's all been like Shane's going crazy, but yeah, they're not interacting. It's just like Snow's a nut and Shane's going nuts.
So like, why is Shane going nuts? Because they've not even really done anything with each other. So not that much. So all that feels shaky, and then they're adding all this. It's like muddying the waters for me, and like it's needlessly confusing. Like I know a lot of ECW now, and it's like, why are you doing all this? Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of shit on the periphery that I probably don't understand, and that's probably what it is. So that's what I'll say.
I mean, I enjoyed the segment in a vacuum, but I mean, yeah, it makes it look like they've already moved past the Al Snow match. I mentioned it on the last episode. It's like they've moved past the Al Snow match, and where Taz and Shane apparently is going to be the main event of this pay-per-view tonight. You guys, I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, but it just kind of takes away a lot of the meaning from the main event.
Yeah, and it makes it seem like a filler main event. It kind of lessens my view of Al Snow, honestly.
A little bit, yeah.
Because like they're kind of treating him like an afterthought. Like it's just super weird that you're treating your main event of a pay-per-view like that. Like I don't understand it. I don't know what the end goal for it is. Like I don't know. Are they angry about Al Snow? Did he piss him off? It's super weird that all of a sudden Al Snow's the hottest thing coming out of Living Dangerously, and then since then it's been nothing.
I don't think they really ever wanted to do this with Snow. Like I think he just got so over that they were like, we got to get a payday out of it.
See, that makes sense.
Yeah,
but I think they knew he wasn't long for the world. I think they knew WWF was going to come knocking to get him back once he got over with a gimmick. So it's kind of like they kind of got stuck. It's like this guy built up a quick fan base. It's almost like the BWO a little bit, where he built up this fan base out of nowhere, and we're the promotion that goes with it. We listen to the fans, so they're taking advantage of him being hot, but they know they can't really strap him up because at any moment he's another guy's going to be out the door, just like Raven was a year ago. So like, what are we going to do, right?
But
so,
also, I bet part of them thought, well, Shane is kind of wrapped in bubble wrap right now. So do we have to put the title on it? Like, they're kind of booked themselves into a corner without realizing it. It's just the timing of it is real rough on there for them too. Besides all the other shit going on.
I liked the mob stuffing Taz into the car. That
was good when he kicked the window out.
Kicked the window out. That was pretty badass.
All right, to the ring we go for a very random match as New Jack takes on Bam Bam Bigelow. We heard, this was revenge by New Jack for the triple threat beating up Cronus. Bigelow comes out, he's barking at the fans. Joey wonders if the title match will even happen tonight. Natural Born Killers fires up. New Jack is out. He has a bucket of plunder. Bigelow meets him on the way in. He beats away on him in the corner. New Jack dodges a guitar shot and then smashes Bigelow with a cookie sheet and then pours it on with the weapons, including pulling out an action figure of Bigelow's nuts and hitting it with a golf club.
A Godzilla action figure.
Or something. Yeah. Bigelow rolls outside in pain. New Jack follows and tries a headbutt but hurts himself. Bigelow grabs a chair. He smacks New Jack twice, but he's still moving slowly from the nut shot. Bigelow throws the chair at New Jack, who's now busted open. He throws New Jack into the crowd. It's a slingshot splash into him. Jack slugs back and takes Bigelow to the back of the building. Bigelow just keeps throwing a flurry of chairs at him. Bigelow throws Jack into some trash cans. He glances up at the balcony. Bigelow misses an avalanche into the railing, and Jack falls back into the bleachers. He slowly climbs the steps as Joey's worried about all his blood loss and how out of it he looks. Bigelow's trying to get his wind back as Jack emerges in the balcony, but he looks completely out on his feet as he slowly walks across the catwalk. Bigelow buys some time by looking confused. New Jack grabs a guitar from a fan, slowly steps to the edge of the balcony, and falls off. He smacks Bigelow with the guitar and crashes to the ground. Bigelow's bleeding. He deadlifts New Jack on his shoulder and carries him to the aisle into the ring. Joey says New Jack likely has friends in the arena. He grew up in Georgia. Bigelow carries his lifeless body and hits a Greetings from Allentown for the win.
Greetings from Allentown.
Great. That's all I can think of when I say Greetings from Asbury Park.
Whoops.
Yeah, Mr. Winston.
Peter Winston was there.
He took his lifeless body to the ring.
He gave him head trauma all for away from Malden, kid.
Yeah, away from Duxbury. Hard-hitting weapons fest with some scary stuff. I mean, New Jack looked completely on autopilot, very slow autopilot. I don't know if it was a concussion or the blood loss, but he was definitely fucking out of it through the end. It's scary that he knew enough to still step off a balcony like he did, crash to the ground. But he's lucky he's with someone that could carry him. Bigelow could hoist him up and carry him to the ring.
Carry him.
I thought Bigelow feels above this too. I guess you need him on the show, so whatever. It felt a little heavier than the standard weapon stuff, but also worrisome. Bigelow really had to work to get there. So I went 2 1/4, Matt. I don't know. I'm getting less enthralled with this type of match, and I feel like Bigelow doesn't need to be in the low-level garbage stuff. And there wasn't a heated feud to warrant a big blood match with these two guys either. So it's just a reason to get Bigelow on the card, but just have him come out with Shane later. He didn't need to wrestle.
So the reason why New Jack looked out of it, and I had to look it up because I was pretty sure it was this match, and I looked it up to confirm. New Jack has admitted in interviews that he did a little too much cocaine before this match.
Oh, okay. So that's
he blew up early because of it. Which is why he was
really out of it.
Which is why he was sucking wind about 30 seconds into this match. So there's an interview out there somewhere, I guess, where he admitted that a little too much cocaine running through his system, and boy did it show, because holy hell. Look, I went Gentleman's 2 on it for the sheer I can't stop watching it like a car crash novelty of it. But boy, this was real rough. I mean, there's parts of it where New Jack is, like you said, he's just out of it. When he finally manages to climb his coked up ass up the top of the stairs, and he just stops at the top of the stairs, and he's like, "Oh God, I just need a minute, man. I can't breathe."
Bigelow's looking around all confused.
Bigelow's looking around where the fuck is this guy? He's supposed to jump on me right now.
This match is a mess.
And then you have Bigelow deadlifting his lifeless husk to the ring. It was something. I mean, highly entertaining for all the wrong reasons. So, I mean, I went 2 stars on it. And Bam Bam looked kind of pissed after the match, too. I don't know if you caught that. He just starts chucking some of the weapons at New Jack.
I mean, I would be too if like this
hell yeah,
300-pound coked up dude just jumped at me from a balcony with no control over his own body, and then I got to carry him to the fucking ring.
Right. You take your fucking Godzilla action figure and go get some help.
Go fuck yourself.
So, yeah, gentlemen's 2 for the sheer novelty of it, Jenny.
Well, I was going to do 2 1/4, but I think the cocaine usage bumped it up to 2 1/2.
I think that's what the song was about, that Clapton wrote.
Yeah.
About this match, right?
About New Jack.
Imagine doing this shit on cocaine. Like, that's, it's kind of amazing. I know, but like just jumping off a balcony, that's a little bit more than what the normal coked out guys do on these shows. But and where did that fan get a random guitar?
I think they just brought that stuff.
It's like Georgia. There's just guitars everywhere.
He was going to be the intermission entertainment.
And yeah. I mean, it sure was a thing to watch. So I'm glad that Bam Bam at least won it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had to win. Like I said, there had to be something else they could have done here. I just don't know what it is. I just would have had Bigelow come out with Shane, and just do something with that versus like having him almost die against New Jack. He just feels above this. He just New Jack and his brawls feel like bottom of the card to me now. Like they used to feel up a little bit more when the Gangsters were the tag champs and fighting the Eliminators and everything. Like that felt like the top tier, like Scorpio and Sandman and stuff. But now it's like, it just feels like that's just like you get the FBI opener and then you got like the Plunder Brawl with them. Like that's your opening card stuff. So.
It's a very you got to be in the building for it type of gimmick.
I think so.
Which is fine. Right. I just don't think he needs to be in there with Bigelow at this point, where Bigelow's like Bigelow just beat Taz on the last pay-per-view, and now we get nothing for him. Like it's weird.
Yeah, I do hate that.
We get a hype video for our next match, which is this is a blood feud. Tommy Dreamer and Sandman taking on the Dudleys. Just a classic ECW match here. Time for these dudes to cross paths, elevate the Dudleys, who've been stuck in neutral. We've been talking about it. Joel Gertner and the Dudleys are all in the ring. We get the usual intro shtick, cut off quickly by Enter Sandman as the Extreme Icons head out. Beulah. We get a very long entrance. Sandman's looking more bloated than usual. Dreamer licks up beer off Beulah's chest. We start with all 4 brawling. Dreamer and Sandman control strikes to drive the Dudleys to the floor. They follow right out, and the brawl continues. A lot of punches and tables and railings. The Dudleys end up laying on the guardrail, and Dreamer puts a chair on their head, and Sandman flies off the apron with a leg drop in a pretty cool spot. Back in the ring, Dreamer hits a Hangman's neckbreaker on Devon. Sandman throws the guardrail in the ring, and the Icons double team and continue to dominate. Tommy throws Devon into the railing, but Bubba turns the tide and throws Sandman into it to buy some breathing room. Sandman's holding his neck as Tommy checks on him, but the Dudleys attack and beat him down. The ring crew comes out with a stretcher. They load up Sandman. Joey's worried, says he should have never been in this match. The Dudleys continue to double team with Tommy as Sandman is wheeled to the back. Tommy fights back and gets a superplex on Bubba. The Dudleys still swarm and overwhelm him, picking him apart. Dick and Sign Guy help run interference as well as the odds pile up on Tommy. Joey says he should just give it up and live to fight another day. The Dudleys set up a guardrail and crotch Tommy on it, hit him with a concerto that whiffs a little bit. We get some boos despite Joey selling it. Joey wants the match stopped as Tommy crumples to the mat. The Dudleys pick up the railing, but Spike comes out to help and drop kicks the railing, then splashes it for 2. Spike gets an acid drop on Bubba onto the railing. He's cleared the ring. Spike flies into his brothers with a plancha, gets caught, so Tommy follows and flies into all of them. Tommy puts Devon in the tree of woe, but Sign Guy ties up Tommy, and Dick comes in, hits a total penetration. Spike floats out of a Bubba bomb and goes low, and then launches off Bubba and Tommy to dropkick Devon with a chair. Dick grabs Spike and hits a swinging neckbreaker out of a torture rack. Beulah comes in and kicks Sign Guy low and DDTs him, but Devon grabs her before she can leave. Spike makes a save. He eats a 3D. Sandman comes back in a neck brace. He cleans house with his cane, destroys Dick with a flurry of shots. Tommy and Sandman crush the Dudleys with stereo cane and chair shots and hit a double DDT to win the match. This is good. It felt like a blood feud payoff. The violence is hard-hitting and vicious, even with the botched chair spot. Sandman's a mess. He comes back and gets his revenge. Good finish and a way to elevate Spike. The Dudleys take a loss, but I feel like the violence of this match and the feud helped elevate them anyway, and that's really what they needed. Like, a win here wasn't immaterial, I think, and they can still get their heat back if they keep this up. It feels like it could go on a couple directions. So Jenny went 3 1/4. Like this is a pretty good, hard hitting match. I'm fine with the outcome because Dreamer and Sandman needed to get some comeuppance here, give some comeuppance to Dudley's, and I think the Dudleys benefited just by being in this.
I would agree with that. And the good finish finally on this show. But I did 2 3/4 because the first part was just so fucking slow for me, and it wasn't until Spike came in that I really started enjoying it. So as usual with a Tommy Dreamer match, it's about the run-ins, and but I mean the Dudleys did look good.
Yeah.
Still not my favorites, but there is still some to this probably. But again, it needs another aspect for me, like story-wise, besides Sandman in a fucking neck brace again. Maddie?
Yeah, I'm with Jenny. I went 2 3/4 on this. It was good, but it was missing something for me too. I feel like it kind of lost me a bit. I mean, it makes sense in the match when Sandman left. Like, I understand why they did the injury angle, but for me, it kind of lost something for me when they started working this basically like it was a handicap match until Spike came out. And I mean, that botched chair shot stuff was real rough. Like, the crowd rightfully shits all over it. So I thought that was really rough, but it did get good by the end. I thought it was the right kind of chaotic, with Beulah DDTing Sign Guy and all that stuff. And I like the finish with the callback to the injury angle. I thought that was a well done finish. So I enjoyed the finish a lot, and it was a nice callback. But the match was kind of meh for me, so I went 2 3/4. It was just missing something that some other matches that we've seen from Dreamer, Sandman, and the Dudleys had. So a bit disappointing.
All right, we get a hype package for our next match, and that is Sabu taking on Rob Van Dam for the TV title. Fonzie's backstage, says he will manage both men tonight. This way he'll leave with the belt either way. So here we go. Our favorite frenemies throw down over the TV title, classic feud and partnership. Fonzie reveals he's managing both guys. Not a shock. We get Jeff Jones as the official. Joey's not happy to see him here. He's been on the take for months. It's still a piece of shit. Sabu is out with Fonzie. Good buzz here. RVD's out next with his TV title, smirking as always. After the intros, we get some feeling out. Initial contact back and forth without any control and a stalemate, playing up how well they know each other. RVD gets a mic and asks, who feels gullible? There's no way he's going to fight his best friend and partner like anyone would have done. They put together a plan and raise each other's hands. Sabu looks a little shaky, so Jones gets in RVD's face, and RVD shoves him to the corner, drops down as a base, but instead of a springboard, Sabu punts his partner, and the match starts. That is fine. Maybe a little too cute. She just got going.
It was kind of cute, in a good RVD way.
A little saccharine. Sabu cuts through his offense and knocks RVD to the floor. He meets him with a somersault plancha. Sabu shoots him to the railing. Back inside, sinks into a camel clutch. Sabu floats over a backdrop, but RVD does the same. Sabu drop kicks his knee, and RVD matches it again. RVD hits a corkscrew leg drop for 2. Kicks away, hooks a bow and arrow as Fonzie's blowing the whistle. RVD drapes Sabu on the edge of the ring, hits a slingshot leg drop. RVD stomps away back in the ring, hooks a single leg crab. RVD's punishing the leg and sets up a table bridge. Sabu dives into him with a tope. Sabu puts RVD on the table. Joey's looking for clues with Fonzie. Sabu smacks RVD with a chair, sets up a springboard, but RVD rolls off the table into the crowd. Sabu adjusts and springs off the ropes, off the railing into RVD. Back inside, Van Dam goes up top, but Sabu throws a chair in his face and he flops to the floor. Fonzie's blowing the whistle and does the Sabu point. Sabu and RVD slug it out on the floor as RVD puts Sabu in the railing, throws Fonzie a chair. But as RVD sets up the kick, Fonzie turns away and moves the chair. Fonzie defends himself as RVD shoves him and suplexes Sabu to the railing. Sabu recovers. He puts RVD on the rail. It's an Asai moonsault. They both tumble into the fans. Fonzie and Jeff Jones are barking at each other as they head back inside. Sabu spikes a chair on RVD's face, tries a triple jump moonsault, but whiffs. RVD sits Sabu across the top rope, hits a springboard kick to knock him outside. RVD meets him with a great somersault senton. RVD wants some help, but Fonzie won't give it to him. Back of the ring, RVD loads up Sabu, wants a suplex to a table. Sabu blocks, gets an Arabian press. RVD's dangling on the middle rope. Sabu sets up the bridge, throws a chair at RVD, tosses him onto the table. RVD stands up as Sabu springs, leaps off, and DDTs RVD onto it. But the table doesn't break, and they fall to the floor to boos as the crowd is calling them out. Back in the ring, RVD goes back to the knee, heads up top. Sabu throws a chair at him, takes him off with a Rana through the busted table. They scrap a bit on the mat, and then RVD botches a slingshot to the bottom rope. You can tell both guys are pretty gassed. RVD resets, hits the leg drop off the top of the chair. Outside, RVD shoots Sabu to the railing, follows with a jump kick, gets crotched on the railing and ends up split-legged across the corners until Sabu throws a chair at his head and hits a Rana. In the ring, RVD gets 2 on a Van Daminator, 2 again on a frog splash. Sabu comes back with a triple jump leg drop. RVD answers the monkey flip onto a chair. They continue to go back and forth, but neither can put it away. Sabu hits an Arabian facebuster, throws a table in the ring, but the leg breaks. RVD kicks him on it. Table collapses to boos. The crowd really rough on these poor guys. RVD goes out, gets another table, but Sabu hits him with a chair. RVD whiffs it with but kicks Sabu on the table. Crowd boos again. RVD hits Sabu with a chair, heads up top, and it's a frog splash through the table for 2. Sabu gets a leaping knee for 2 as Joey wonders if Jeff Jones is going to screw one of these guys and help Fonzie out. Sabu gets a German for 2 as we keep going. RVD comes back with a split-legged moonsault for 2. Sabu gets an Arabian press as the bell rings for a time limit draw and a lot more boos. Jones says he'll render a decision and raises both of their hands and says it's a draw. RVD and Sabu argue as Fonzie comes in to keep the peace. All right. It was very good as usual with these guys. It was very long, but it was not on great. It was not great. It was on par with their past stuff. And all of that stuff should be better when you think about it. And this really should have been better because they've come so far with their characters and their relationship. Maybe the expectations and the story held them back, but I kept waiting to pace up and fire up, and it didn't get there. They still did a lot of absurd stuff. The story worked in ways to add drama. The crowd was with them as always. They just didn't have that spark. Maybe it went too long too, given how gassed they look and missed things late. When it hit, but it wasn't there enough. It felt like a collection of cool spots. I think these guys are just better friends than enemies. Tough finish there too as well, given the way things built, pissing off the crowd. I mean, you could tell like Sabu just doesn't lose these matches, and RVD is not going to lose the title yet. So they were kind of stuck yet again. A draw shows them as equals, so maybe that puts them back on the same page. But Jenny went 3.5 stars, which I have pretty much equal to their other stuff, which to me again would be a disappointment across the board for all their things.
Boy,
I'm gonna take a drink.
Yeah, you should, because you just read every move that Rob Van Dam or Sabu has ever done in their life because they just completely used all of their moves on each other repeatedly. I think maybe they were partnering with New Jack and they got a little high, a little too high, and they got lost in this match. Like they lost the thread of it or something happened. Maybe better friends and enemies. I don't know, because they do play with that, a lot. So fuck a time limit draw. It's just so infuriating. But for this match and these wrestlers, maybe that's probably what should have happened. Because I can't decide who should have won. So maybe they just couldn't decide. I don't know. Fonzie not helping, but helping. I maybe enjoyed Fonzie a little bit more in this match than I would in a normal match. I don't know why. I don't know. I just have a lot of feelings.
He was good in the role, like playing the middleman, not wanting to go one way or the other, because if he helped RVD and RVD loses, he's out the title maybe. Sabu says, fuck off,
Right.
So I think he did a good job of playing the middle, just getting these guys through this match. So hopefully they can get back to being a team.
Was his goal a time limit draw? Like, was that what Fonzie was trying to
Yeah, I would say so. Just trying to escape with these guys not getting hurt. And just kind of going to a stalemate to see that they're equals.
I did 3 1/4 stars. Which sounds crazy. I don't know. I want to do more, but it was missing something for me, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I went lower than both of you. I went 3 on this. For me, I think this is comfortably the worst of their matches. I feel like it took all their moves a lot longer to set up. And you said it perfectly, JT. The spots that hit really well, but it was the stuff in between where they really lost me. Like it felt to me like they had 20 minutes worth of stuff, but they had 30 minutes to fill, right?
It needs to be tighter.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if this was a 20-minute draw, Like, I think you're probably talking a much better match. Like, it's just real sloppy at points. It's super tentative at points. So, and this is a place where the draw really did bug me. Like, if you want to keep building up that RVD and Sabu have tension with each other, why not just have one of them pin the other one? Like, that would cause the
Sabu
ultimate
doesn't
tension.
lose.
I mean, I understand that, but I just think a draw. I don't know if it actually really accomplishes anything here. Having a draw with these two
None of
guys.
this
I think
match
it would have
didn't
been
accomplish anything.
Right.
Yeah, and it was just meant to be like a big match on a pay-per-view to sell the show, right? And
Right.
that this will be the match of the night, match of the year. Like, you can't miss it. And it's in the long line of like overhyped stuff that just struggled to meet the expectation. I would have liked it better if RVD and Sabu like got fed up with Jeff Jones' shit, looked at each other and just beat the shit out of him and left. Like, that might have been like a better thing and kind of bring them back together versus the draw.
Right.
It was fine. The chemistry is just weird with these guys. They're awesome as a team. They're very good opponents, but they're not great opponents.
Yeah.
They're both kind of car wreck dudes. And like you said, Matt, it was 20-minute match put into a 30-minute package. Like,
I mean, they struggled to hit 3.5 in their matches in '96. So, and now you're giving them more time, and you're expecting it to be better. I don't know. And I mean,
I did though because of the
obviously.
story. I thought maybe it would be better. You know?
Yeah. It's a weird one.
But this is where the lack of depth is hurting right now too on the roster. Like, I mean, this show doesn't have Taz wrestling.
Right.
Bigelow was kind of wasted. You know, I know you like Rotten Balls, Jenny, but like, they're not a team that's going to go long with Candido and Storm. So in a way, that's kind of a little wasted because Candido and Storm are guys that could have maybe ate up a bunch more time. I don't know. It was like Jerry Lynn. Like there's other guys they probably got to thrown out to like eat up some time and not give this 30. But they wanted it to be a draw, so they were going to go 30, and that's that. But,
yeah.
All right. Well, definitely not the show stealer you hoped. We're backstage. Backstage, Shane Douglas says critics will say what he gets tonight he deserves. He runs through his injuries, says the doctors advised him not to wrestle. 15 years ago, two young boys entered the sport, hoping to be champion, and he fulfilled that dream, and Snow hopes to as well. Destiny and fate may be on Al Snow's side, but Shane is the franchise. He proves time and again he doesn't expect Snow to go easy, but Snow will have to kill him for the title because his destiny is tied to ECW's and forever will be known as a fighting champion and franchise. We get a hype package for Douglas versus Snow, and then Al Snow's backstage. He says he's been at this for 16 years, his whole adult life, dedicated to one moment, working toward his time and day in the sun. Years he was held back and frustrated. Fate played against him. He left territories when he should have stayed, hired by a guy that got fired. While Shane and his good looks were Mr. Marketable, he is a talented guy, but Snow believes he's better. He didn't get the breaks. He worked across the country for next to nothing. He's lived and sacrificed for tonight and given up everything for this. It's his night. Everyone will say Snow only won because Shane was hurt, but he beat Shane clean last pay-per-view too. He knows he'll win because Head told him so. And I thought this was a great last promo from Snow. Matt, what did you think of both of these?
Where the hell was this Snow promo on the
right?
episodes of Hardcore TV that we've been watching?
This should have been on
months.
Either the Go Home or that other preview show episode. Yeah.
Like, why are you saving this for the pay-per-view when people have already bought the show and are watching it? They bought it for you. You don't need to sell people on it.
Yeah.
They've already bought it. It's a weird play. I mean, the Shane promo was really well done. I mean, I feel like every other month at this point he's saying doctors have told him not to wrestle, but that's kind of just where he is as a human right now. But yeah, I mean, this Al Snow promo absolutely should have been on TV. Just super weird. I mean, I get you wanting to have Al Snow have a promo here, but when you haven't seen him say anything,
that's the weird part.
3 weeks, it's just super weird.
But we've had great promos on pay-per-view before. I mean, I think like Hogan and Warriors stuff. Like, I don't think it's crazy to have this here, but he should have been doing this type of stuff. You're right, in the weeks leading up to give us something to dig into, because the build to this match, as we talked about, outside of Snow beating him at Living Dangerously, it's 2 months ago. Not much else going on.
Right.
The performance was good, but it was like a miss for me because he should have just. I don't need to hear about crazy ass Al Snow being on the road for 16 years, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Shane already said that. Why don't you just be crazy because your gimmick is being crazy?
Right. That's what got him over.
I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, I thought it was boring as fuck. That's not what I want to see him do. Why would Shane go crazy over this man? He ain't even crazy. So, I don't know.
It reminded me a lot of Stevie's promo from a year ago.
Yes.
Before the match he got hurt.
Yes.
When it was very similar to that.
Yep.
But that fit a little bit better. This was just. Fucking wrong.
Well, let's see if he pays it off. I mean, he even said, like, if I win, it's because Shane's injured. Shane even said everyone thinks Snow's going to win. Joey says it. So it's like, there's a lot of pressure on Snow to deliver. Interesting build. Parallel spot paths, like we talked about. Massive spot for Snow. Banged up Douglas, handed on a platter. Douglas and Francine are out. Shane's not looking great physically. The heads are out in the crowd.
No,
He looks awful.
Mhm.
Snow marches down. The heads are bobbing. He's locked
that
in.
looks awesome.
Yeah, the
Yep.
crowd is going nuts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Joey says, no matter what the industry is, this many people have never gotten head together. Shane takes the brace off as Joey says that's a big mistake. Shane lays the belt down. He talks shit to Snow. We lock up, get into a flurry of strikes. Snow works the bad arm, slugging away and targets it. The fans bang the heads to rally Snow as he works over the champ. The head's up top, but Shane meets him. Snow knocks him back down, but Francine trips up Snow and crotches him and yanks him to the floor. Douglas misses a baseball slide, and Snow gets heated back up. Snow crotches Shane on the post. Shane recovers and shoves him into the railing and regroups. Excuse me. Back inside, Shane grabs a chin lock. He hits a neck snap. Shane sets up 4 chairs, but Snow comes firing away. Shane fends him off with an atomic drop. Snow falls back into the chair as the crowd boos. Shane resets and powerbombs Snow through 2 remaining chairs. Snow loads up the snowplow, but Candido comes in to block him. Snow slings Candido outside. He bounces off a Bigelow. Shane gets a belly-to-belly for a very close near fall. Snow pushes off Shane, hits Candido and Bigelow with an acai moonsault. The locker room empties out into the aisle because they want to watch the finish of the match. Snow goes up top. He gets a high cross body, but Shane rolls through for 2. The wrestlers now pour around the ring as Snow hits a snowplow for a close near fall. Francine gets in the ring and Snow hits a snowplow on her, grabs head and decks Candido. Snow goes up top and tries a sunset flip, but he misses. They stagger back into it, and Shane sits down on top of him to win the match. The crowd did not like that finish. They did not like the botch either. Douglas and Snow get hoisted up on the shoulders and shake hands as the locker room parades them around in a sea of heads. Odd finish. The match itself was slow. It had some moments. The pay-per-view crowd, I thought, was the best we've had from a pay-per-view crowd outside of Barely Legal.
Yes.
They were on par with a real ECW crowd. But with that came the viciousness of any perceived fuck-up, which I thought was a little over the top at times. They were like, I know it's like the thing with ECW and it's more like a love letter, but like any little slight flaw, they were like all over it, which I thought hurt things a little bit in this case. The timing of the match felt off. They did what they could. I think Shane's injuries really fucked things up. They kept it tight, especially with that long war before it, so that was good. Shane escapes. Snow comes up short, which is tough given the spot. Like, if he's going to lose here, you think like at least have the triple threat cost him. But then on the other hand, he's leaving. So no matter how much hype they put on him, and we talked about it, right? They're saying this guy's going to he has to win. He's a lock to win. Shane's hurt. This is Snow's title to win. By having Shane beat him clean does the goal that they really wanted, and that is to make Shane look like a megastar by overcoming all these crazy odds and crushing Snow because Snow's leaving anyway. So, like, they kind of did it what they should do in this case, given that Snow's not sticking around. We'll see where things go with the world title if Shane really is this injured. The finish felt flat. And, despite all the wrestlers watching, the crowd was heating up a little bit. I don't know. It felt like a little bit like they're trying to force a classic. And this has happened now a couple times with Douglas. Same thing with Bigelow. We saw in November, remember, where they were trying to build it like it was this all-timer. Just not quite there. So I only went 2 3/4, Jenny. Definitely disappointing. But again, like with Shane's injuries, how much can they really do?
With Shane's injuries and then Snow's leaving, I just win this fucking match. It just fucking wholly disappointing. And the man shouldn't have even been wrestling because his arm looked like it's about to fucking fall off the whole time. He could barely make it through the match. So it's not like any of this offense is looking good. Snow looks good, but he always does. But he just looks stupid in the end. And I don't know. Definitely the triple threat should have definitely helped more. It would have been way more believable for Shane winning this match. I had like 3 notes, it's just like, it was too calm. Snow's not crazy enough. Just my forever, note for all of this. 2 3/4, Matt.
Yeah, I only went 2.5 on it. It was a plotting match, but I mean, I do get it, given the fact that Shane is currently being held together by tape and gum, which begs the question, should he even been out there? I'm going to say probably not, like you said. If the roster comes out to watch this, like, all right, what are we doing? Like
Yeah,
you said, they're trying to force a classic. Like, come on, like,
Well,
what are we
especially the
doing?
post match with them putting on their shoulders, like
Yeah, like
it was like,
it's
all right, they
fucking,
didn't just have an epic, you know what I
yeah,
mean? There was this,
like it's Brett at WrestleMania 10. Like,
yeah,
come on,
or just an epic clash of titans. Like,
yeah,
I get parading Shane a little bit because okay, this dude just overcame all these injuries to win. I mean, Snow looks like kind of a loser.
yeah.
Like he looks like Luger at SummerSlam '93. Like,
Yeah, he looks. This was the biggest thing that stuck out to me is that Snow looks fucking awful between the Taz stuff earlier in the night and then losing to a 50% beaten down, broken Shane in the main event in like what 10 minutes or however long this match goes. Like, yeah, I mean, Snow came out of this looking like a complete idiot. So it's just, yeah, it didn't fit what the story was either. So I mean. 2.5 for me, and honestly, I could be talked into going lower. So
I've wondered how many of those people just threw their heads right in the fucking trash can when they left. Like Al Snow's over. There's no more head. Y'all killed the fucking head.
They're still sweeping up styrofoam heads in Cobb County.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I mean, could they have done a thing where RVD and Sabu don't go,
a million minutes?
Don't go 30. They end. Fonzie blows the whistle and waves them down to stop fighting and tells them, because of Shane's injury, I got you guys into the main event, and make it like a 4-way match with RVD, Sabu, Shane, and Snow. So maybe RVD, Sabu go like 15. Right. They say, hey, wait, Paul said if you guys stop fighting, I got him to agree if you stop fighting right now, you get a world title match. And then you at least get something. But I know the way they built
Paul's dick, you guys.
Yeah, we got him there, baby. But I know if you're gonna like book the way they set up Snow and Douglas, I think they just wanted to do it, but that might have been one way around it,
Yeah.
I mean,
anything would have been better than what we got here.
I'm on board with that. I mean, I probably would have been pissed about that too, but yeah. Yep.
All right, let's get to our awards. Best match. I mean, I went RVD Sabu. I had it the highest. Yeah.
I went Mikey. Incredible.
Well, I think that's what I went to, even though I hate that match.
Worst match, I went New Jack and Bigelow. I just did not get
it.
Yep. Yeah.
Best moment, I went with Taz confronting Douglas, and then Sandman and Dreamer getting the revenge at the end on the Dudleys. I thought was well done.
Yeah.
It was good. When the old timers came out, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
And the opener match.
Yeah, the opener was good too.
Most 90s, I went Shane's diatribe referencing like Flair and Shawn and all that.
Dick Flair.
We need a most 70s award for the Legends ceremony.
Stock Rising, I went Nova, who I thought looked great in that opener. Mikey,
yes,
who I thought looked great in his match, and they lost. Credible, Lance Storm, and Spike Dudley. Spike got a nice bump by being in that match.
Yep.
Bullet Bob.
Nope.
Falling, I went Rotten Balls. I thought tough night for them. That promo was weird, and then the match they bomb. New Jack's body not in good shape.
No.
And then Snow, I thought just a
tough
night for all the hype and push and main event spot.
Yeah.
He loses clean in like under 10 minutes or whatever, and then parades around like he just wrestled an hour with Steamboat in New Orleans.
God, he is Lex Luger. I fucking hate him
now. Final grade, I went 6.5 out of 10. I mean, it's still an ECW pay-per-view. There's still some very good stuff. I like the Dreamer match tag. I like RVD Sabu enough. I like the opener. Mikey Credible was very good. Like, it's still a good pay-per-view. My baseline for ECW mega shows is still high because we saw so many of those arena shows that we had an 8.5, 9. So 6.5 is low compared to those.
Yep.
But like, to me, this didn't suck. I just wasn't at that level that we hope for out of these big. And we're at the point now where it's a trend. It's not like we hope for better. Like, none of their pay-per-views have been great. Like, they've, to me, have all been in this 6 to 7 range. I'm waiting for that iconic pay-per-view to come. We'll see.
Me too. Been waiting for a while. This had a lot of shit I did not like. I mean, just flat out pissed off about Mikey, RVD, Sabu. It's a 5 for me.
I mean, I went 5.5. I mean, it's not an actively bad show for me, but it's a consistent show. But the problem is, it's consistently meh.
Yeah.
And I had nothing below 2, but I had nothing above 3.5. So it's all like like in that range. So yeah, we're waiting for that huge, great ECW pay-per-view. It hasn't happened yet. Hopefully, it happens soon.
All right. Well, we got a little bit before our next one,
Mhm.
which will be Heat Wave. So that's a little ways away. So we're going to have some TV to work our way through in our upcoming episodes, including 2 weeks from today. We'll be back with 3 episodes of TV from May of 1998. Yeah, we got 6, 10. We got 13 episodes of TV before our next pay-per-view. So
Oof.
a lot to get through before Heat Wave.
Mhm.
We'll see when we get there. So subscribe, leave a comment. We appreciate it. All your support here on North South Connection. Sure to follow us on social media. Stay extreme. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks.